Hello, hello. Hi. Welcome back to my channel about everything table tennis and not in a superficial way. So this is a serious video, not a satire or trying to make fun of stuff. And this video is about table tennis competition or match etiquette or just politeness, whatever you call it. However you want to carry yourself as an adult, not an immature imbecile. And you'll be interested in this video. And thanks for coming. So let's talk about what's table tennis etiquette, right? So in other words, you can call it sportsmanship or respect, right? And a lot of that has to do with the acceleration that people usually do after a point, like chole, right? Or in Europe, some say ale or whatever, right? Whatever floats your boat, right? You may scream like a dinosaur if you like, you know. Um, so how do you behave yourself, carry yourself when you're playing a competition match, like a serious match, right? It could be a league, like a casual format league, or a serious tournament. But as long as the match itself is serious, we should pay attention to the 7 things that I'm about to cover. Now, without further ado, let's go to the first thing. The first thing is about the chole, right? When you win a point, you're very excited. You like to release some sort of energy, right? Like say chole, right? But it's not always a good thing to do. It really depends on the situation. So one of the like it doesn't matter how you won the point. For this very first point that I'm covering, doesn't matter how you win the point. If you're gonna chole, say chole, don't do it in an aggressive way towards your opponent. Don't stare them in the eye and be like, Charlie. Like, don't do that. Like, you can do softly, you can look in the general direction and be like, Charlie, or Charlie, or slightly sideways to the opponent. If you stare into your opponent's eye and go, Charlie, then you are asking to be punished, okay? Like, either you're winning for sure, in which case your Charlie means nothing to either of you, like if you are 2,500 playing a 2,000 player, it doesn't matter what you do. You can act like a monkey for all I care. You still win, right? But if the match is close and you do surely, then you are asking to be punished, right? You give your opponent mental ammunition to go after you. And if they do win, then they trolley you back. It's the worst, right? Like even if you don't care about the consequence, right? You just wanna like there's still a moral standpoint. Like two adults are or two serious athletes are engaging in a serious match, like you doing this is kind of way too personal, okay? A lot of times a sport is not too personal. It's about how well you execute, how well you play your game, how you maximize your strength and you explore your opponent's weakness. And if you succeed this point, good for you, but you don't have to like try to hit the other person's confidence this way. It's not the best way. It's just not what a good athlete should do, because there are many reasons why you win that point. Sometimes it's not all because of your calculations. Sometimes it could be something lucky on your end or against the other guys. So the point is there's no reason to get personal when you stare into someone and go like surely. That's not very good. That's just no good. Like you wanna if you wanna act like a good player, don't do that. um so second point is about nets and edges, right? So I should not have to cover this, but unfortunately, a lot of like less advanced players or a lot of kids don't understand this. They thought if I win this point and I worked hard for it, I deserve to chole in whatever way I want to. That's not how it works. If you get a net or edge in a professional circle, everybody, at least the minimum, even if they don't say sorry right out, they will raise their hand. Basically, just like that. You can look at your opponent or you don't have to look, just keep your head down. But they raise their hand. What does this mean? It's an acknowledgement. It's an acknowledgement that point was not entirely skill based. Okay? So, regardless of whether the net or edge caused you to win the point right out, you acknowledge the fact that there was something that interrupted the flow of the point, right? So even though sometimes it doesn't matter, let's say I hit a ridiculous backhand and went to my opponent's forehand and could not reach it anyway, but I got the edge. Okay, so in this case, some people may think that doesn't matter at all. I can show because I make a good placement. The opponent can reach it anyway, even if I don't hit the edge. But still, you don't want to be cocky, right? Like maybe they think they could reach it. Maybe they actually could. Like we all seen that match like with Zhang Jike versus Africa #1 Claudio Runa. Like we all thought the point was over, but the guy is super fast and his arms are super long. He went all the way around the table to the back and then fish it back. We're all surprised. Even Zhang Jike, professional himself, he's never seen a guy that agile, right? So you don't want to assume your opponent can or cannot do a certain thing. So when you make so the safe play is to be acknowledging that there's an edge. Just be like that. If you don't think it was a big deal, just a small raise hand and make sure your opponent sees it. That's it. You don't have to say sorry if you don't feel it's a big deal, but still you need to acknowledge it. Okay. So no matter what happens, if there's net or edge, you don't chole. You don't celebrate. Okay. The professionals almost never do that. If you watch, only the audiences would be like, yeah, like or their teammates, right? They're trying to cheer for their team. But even for the professional teammates, they will try to be less cheerful when there's an edge or net. Okay, this is how to respect the sport. Okay, so this is the second point, right? Now, third point is about when you win a point, but it wasn't exactly how you expected it to went down, to go down, or how your opponent expected to go down, right? So of course you don't want your opponent to know how it goes down, right? That's the whole point. But if you win in a way that you didn't expect, and your opponent knows about it, then you are supposed to acknowledge it too. Like when I say acknowledge with your hand raising, you can say sorry. You don't have to. That's all it's required. Okay, we all play table tennis. We know there's luck involved, right? So all you have to do is acknowledge it. That's the minimum you can do. Okay. So what is some of the example? I do a crazy forehand, right? My forehand is crazy. You know that. Like sometimes I do a crazy forehand. Sometimes I intend to hit the ball right in the middle a little bit, right? But I accidentally hit it to the side, and it makes the ball didn't dig into the rubber enough, and the ball just fly without spin, and somehow with some side spin or whatever. Just as long as you didn't hit it in the way you expect, I don't care how the ball came out. As long as it didn't come out the way you plan to, and you won that point, regardless of whether your opponent was affected by it. Right? Of course, if or she has no idea, you don't have to do that. But if you see that he or she is a little bit baffled by that, you should raise your hand, because if you don't, that means you're a sneaky player. You think everything deserves to be credited to you, and that's never a good thing. Okay, you don't want to appear to be an a-hole, right? You want to acknowledge your luck, right? And you don't want your opponent to feel like, oh, this guy's playing me just to win. He doesn't care how he wins, right? He just wants to win. When he wins, is all he cares. Nobody want to play a guy like that. Okay, trust me. Nobody. Okay, so that's so any mishitting or any unintentional thing. Like for example, what are some of the other unintentional examples? Like there's a backhand open loop, right? Some guy push a fast push to your backhand, and I am about to open, right? So I opened it, but I mishit it. So it went, but without spin, right? My full intention is to put a lot of spin on the ball, and your opponent sees what you're trying to do as well. But because of a strange mishit, the ball didn't go, or maybe there's sweat on the racket, or maybe you hit it in such a way that it didn't generate spin, and your opponent hits it to the net. You need to raise your hand. Your opponent will understand what that means. It means that for all intents and purposes, my motion was to generate a spinny backhand, but for some reason, doesn't matter what, it didn't come out that way, and I won the point, and I'm not super proud of it. I acknowledge the luck of that point. That's very important. Most people don't care. They think if I make the motion, the ball went over, and I win the point, I deserve it. I mean, you can think you deserve it, but how much do you deserve it, right? The luck plays a big factor. So what you're gonna do? You cho for 30% of it, like chole, like what you're gonna do? Like you chole 30%. Just acknowledge that 70% or something, right? Or 40% or 50%, whatever. If it's not entirely skillful, acknowledge it. That's it. Okay. So 4 point. There's a um, there's a momentum in a game, in a match, right? Sometimes people get on a streak. Sometimes they go on a streak like 4, 5, 6 points in a row, and then they do some crazy shot. They were just trying it, like a far table. All of a sudden, like he thought, okay, I'm up like 6 points, right? Let's just try something crazy, and just like crazy, like like a Krianga. They never did that, right? They usually don't do it, and they do it this time, and they made it, and and to respect your opponent, basically, you're not saying, look, I'm so good, I can do whatever I want, and I'll still win the point, right? You're not, if you're not trying to say that to your opponent, you need to raise your hand. What that means is that I acknowledge I don't always land this shot. Like I'm trying it, I'm happy I made it, but I acknowledge that's not my normal range of arsenal. There's a respect to your opponent, because if you don't do that, it will appear as if when you're having a good run of 6, 7 points, you just do whatever you want to humiliate your opponent without even acknowledging that you don't usually make that shot. That's a sign of respect to your player if you want to. If you don't want to respect him, of course, you don't know. Why should you be watching this video, right? So that's what I call like a momentum kind of luck. You only make that shot when you feel loose, when you feel good, and you want to try something crazy or something out of your normal range, and you made it. And that's what I call a momentum luck shot. And you should acknowledge it, right? A lot of these, all you need to do is acknowledge the luck factor. You don't always have to apologize, right? Okay. So now the fifth point. There's a fifth point. This is called what I call a lame shot win. Right? What happens is that when we play, right, we of course at every exchange, like or the first serve, the third ball, the fifth ball, or on the receive, the serve, receive, the fourth ball, or the sixth ball, or the eighth ball, the 10th ball, right? Right, the receive always receive on the even number shots, right? And the server always hit the ball in the odd number, right? On any of these shots, if you somehow you try to put a lot of spin, but you accidentally didn't, and you win the point, or people are moving you left and right, you're like running around, oh my god, and then you do a really lame lob, you know you're gonna get killed, right? You know you're gonna get killed. The ball's so high, you're just waiting to get killed. You thought, oh no, this is over. And then your opponent, whoop, for some reason, maybe there's light, maybe some cameraman's flashes, or maybe he slipped. What, I don't know what happens, right? You know you're supposed to be dead for that point, and it didn't. Your lame shot got away. You acknowledge it. You obviously you don't go solid. You don't go, obviously you don't do that. Don't do that. You do that, you could lose more than the match later on. Okay, there are some people who take that to heart. Trust me, and you may not. You may not. You know, it may be. You may extend farther than the match itself. Okay, so just this etiquette video is not just for being a good human being or being a good athlete, being a good sportsman, but also to protect yourself as well. So if you did a lame shot, you're out of position already, or you do a silly chop that went way too high, or something, and you didn't lose the point, just acknowledge it. Just say like, I got lucky. You're supposed to kill me. That's just good etiquette. Okay. Now, okay, this is I'm too detailed and the time is going way too long. So let me go to the 6 point. Now, the 6 point is that when you win a match or a point or a set, whatever, usually it's after a match. When you win, do not freaking become his or her coach immediately, unsolicited. Like a lot of people like to do that. They win one match, all of a sudden, they are better than you in every single thing, right? They feel like I can teach you anything. I can teach you serve. I can teach you serve, receive. I can teach you push. I can teach you loop. I can teach you kill. I can teach you smash. I can teach you lob. I can teach you fish. I can teach you psychology. I can teach you anything. If they win you by 1 point, like a deuce, win by deuce in the fifth, win by 2 points, 3 points, Doesn't matter. All of a sudden, I'm your master. Bow to me. Everything I say, you have to listen because I'm the winner. You're the loser. End of story. Don't do that. Don't do that. That is, if I know anyone like that, you can guarantee that I will never play him or her again unless I make sure I can kick his or her ass. And after that, I will educate him or her forever. You don't want to do that. Not just because you worry about the consequence or what do you call it, revenge, but also for doing that, it shows how ignorant and silly you are, right? First, you're not winning by much. And even if you do, there's good days and bad days for everyone. When you win more, doesn't mean you have to be an a-hole that day and pretend like you are so much better than the other person. Okay? Especially if they didn't ask for it. They didn't ask for your opinion. They didn't ask you to coach them. They didn't even want to hear your voice after they lost. They just want to soak a while, right? Think about what happened and improve, with their own effort. They don't need your goddamn help. If they do, they'll ask, right? Right? Sometimes even when they ask, they're just being polite. Try not to be, try not to act like an expert after you win. Okay, like there are many reasons for winning, and you don't want to assume that you become a master. Okay. Final point. This time it's not about after winning a match, but about after losing a match, right? The common etiquette. I think you might have heard this before, but sometimes people forget. When you lose a match, the only thing you can do is shake your opponent's hand or bump fist or elbow if the hand is like sleazily sweaty and like disgustingly smelly, which I know some players do have, and they don't know about it and they think you're rude when you don't shake the hand. But that's beside the topic. Like after you lose a match, don't say anything other than good game, good job, thank you for the match, or well done, right? Or don't say anything, just shake the hand and walk away, right? Just don't say anything else. Like, because the winners, a lot of them, so many of them are in a euphoric state. A lot of them are not that mature, right? You say anything that gives a reason why you lose, they're gonna think you're making excuse, even if it's a 100% legit reason. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what you say, trust me. Like, you want a perfect example of words flying in one ear and going out the other, or just words flying around the person completely, like like a ray of sun getting pulled away by a planet, like a black hole or something. Like, all right, just don't say anything when you lost to a winning player. They are always euphoric, and a lot of them don't have the emotional maturity to really hear, to really discuss the match after they won. So many people, all they care about is that they won. Oh, I won. Yes. Wow. Yes. Let's shake this guy's hand and celebrate and tell everyone else about it. How I beat you, how I beat this guy, how I beat you. A lot of guys are like that, okay? So let them talk. Don't give them more ammunition, okay? Just to shake their hand and walk away. There's so many people are immature, right? There's no reason to do that. Like if you tell them, oh, I'm trying a new rubber, like that's your fault, okay? Like you say, oh, today is too wet. Well, then don't play a wet style cannot handle, right? Play something that even wet they can handle, like pips or chopping or defensive, right? Like nobody want to hear your reason, even if it's 100% legitimate. Nobody, okay? They'll just use it against you, okay? I mean, the bad ones anyway. If you play a good player and you lose to him, and he's an emotionally mature sportsman, he or she will be interested to hear what you have to say because they treasure what you guys have shared together. This 30 minutes or so match time, they treasure what happened. They don't just want to win. They want to enjoy this before, during, and after, right? Those are the people you want to play with. You don't want to play with people who just wants to win. You're not playing with those guys. You're trying to destroy those guys. Okay? Against people who just wants to win, don't ever play them in any setting unless you're 100% sure you can kick their ass. It's that simple. Well, I hope you like this video. It's my years of experience of dealing with a lot of ignorant, arrogant, idiotic people on and off the court. And I hope you like it. I'll make another one about the 7 etiquettes for actually table tennis audiences, right? Not the players, audiences, what they shouldn't do or what they should do. Okay, so I hope you will look forward to that one, and leave me any comments. Please like, share, and subscribe. I will try to make the video in prettier format if I get more subscribers, and make it more easy to digest and share all my pearls of wisdom, because I'm one of the wisest men on earth. And you're welcome. See you next time.